Pros vs Joes. Do you remember that show? Hey everybody, it's John Wentworth, helping you dominate real estate. And what I wanted to share with you today was something that occurred inside of our coaching today, right? So one of the beautiful things about coaching is that, well, if you're looking to be a pro, you get coaching. And at every level, you can utilize that coaching and be a pass-through, as I'm doing now. So what I'm bringing forward to you is something that was shared with me from my personal coach and my business coach. And how is it going to help you? Well, this is how. So, Pros vs. Joes. Do you remember the show, right? Where a professional athlete and a average Joe competed, perhaps on a basketball court or on a football field. And if you haven't seen it, YouTube it, you can check it out. But the premise of this is that, are you behaving like a pro? Because everybody says they want to be a pro. Everybody wants to get paid like a pro. But are you doing the things that professionals do? And inside of that, today I experienced it in the field. So what I want to share with you today is, are you behaving like a pro? What does that mean? Sarah Mentor, you know what it means. You were there. So today, I go on a listing appointment. I had already been there and presented. I show up to get the contract signed. And you know what they told me? They interviewed 4 other agents. Of those 4 other agents, none of them even explained to them what they were going to do to market their home. Okay? And one asked this question. The homeowner shared that there was a pool that had been buried in the backyard over 20 years ago. And the realtor asked them, do you think if we dug it up, it would be functional? I mean, that interview must have lasted about 10 seconds after that question. That is a terrible question to ask for a million reasons other than the fact that it's just plain dumb. So, that realtor not only did not plan, did not think, did not bring forward a marketing plan, but then also went down the road of asking a question that really says, I'm a Joe, right? And so why am I sharing this with you? Because we all want to be pros, but we all are human beings, which means we got a little bit of Joe in us, unless we are always inspecting what we're doing. And as John shared today, what does that mean? That means looking at what we're saying, looking at our messaging, like not asking if a pool can be dug up. So I would challenge you inside of your business to, if you want to be a pro, to inspect what you're doing and also be willing to take feedback to correct what you're doing to improve. Because, we hear things like, oh, well, those leads are no good. Or we hear things like, yeah, those buyers are just wasting my time. Well, maybe, just maybe it's you. Just maybe they're asking questions of you because they don't feel confident in you. So just maybe when they leave you and move on to somebody else, it's because they don't have confidence in you. Because you're a Joe, right? You're an average Joe because you're not willing to do the things that the pros do, which would be inspect what you're doing, right? Looking at your game film. What is your game film? Everything you do, right? The message that you're putting into the marketplace, the things that you're saying to leads, the dialogue that you're having. That's your game film, and that's what you have to go back and inspect to get better. Another great point that was brought up was, after you're performing, which would be on a listing appointment, maybe it's on a buyer's appointment, after that occurs, are you going back and sitting down and looking at what you did right and looking at what maybe you could improve on? Because that's what the pros do, right? Kobe Bryant, after a game, goes and shoots free throws. Now, I don't know if he does anymore, but there's certainly a story behind him doing that. And there's a story behind a bunch of professional athletes taking the time to continually hone their craft. We would call it practice, or really it's just honing their craft. How can I continually get better? Because if you want to get paid like a pro, you've got to perform like a pro. And the first thing I think that starts with is self-reflection. Can you sit down, look yourself in the mirror and say, what can I do better? Can you take constructive criticism from somebody and say, okay, I've got thick skin, I'm going to own that, and then I'm going to figure out how can I do a better job. So that's what I would leave you with is if you're going to expect to get paid like a pro, you've got to perform like a pro. And the best way to do that is to go back and look at your game film, look at what you're doing, look at what you're sending, look at the videos that you're putting into the marketplace if you are putting videos into the marketplace. And that's how you're going to hone your craft and get better over and over. So I hope that helps. It's a little bit of a rant, but inside of the day while this occurred, to then go into somebody's home and having heard that someone asked this question about digging up a flipping pool and would it be operationable? It's been buried for 20 years. That was pretty stupid. So, be a pro. Don't be a Joe. Because if you want to get paid like a pro, you have to perform like a pro. Hope you guys have a great night. Peace out. Have a good one.